Leah Michelle. It's March 3rd, 2017.
Got a lot going on today.
I want to tell you guys something that my mama lives in our home, and I love my mama. And nothing happens in this household when we call her the Peanut Gallery. Nothing happens without her knowing about it. She's our mama. She knows about our shows. She watches our shows. She's our biggest supporter. She gives us tips. She actually finds news for us sometimes. She's this is integral to this TV show as we are, but y'all never see her. Now the Obamas had and have somebody like that in their family. Like literally, she is family. So the fact that we know nothing about her, or it's not been touted, she's not, her face hasn't been presented. At least we tell you about.
She's always in the background. Her name is Valerie Jarett. If there is a signing going on, she controlled everything in the Obama administration. Now,
she eat dinner with them. She goes into, like, they sit around watch TV. She's watching TV with them. She is part of their family. She's known
in the White House as the Night Stalker because she follows them into their rooms at the wing at night.
That's
right?
Creepy.
And if you didn't already, I mean, jokes have been made, whatever. But I mean, there's images of Barack Obama just sitting laughing with her.
She's about 6 years older than Obama. Right. Roughly 10 years older than Michelle. Michelle calls her my big sister.
Well, there's rumored that Valerie Jarett is now moving in to the house of the Obamas, that's 2 miles away from the White House, to continue with this thing of overthrowing Trump.
Three's company in the new home of the former First Family. A new report from the Daily Mail says that former President Obama's closest advisor, Valerie Jarett, is moving into his new D.C. mansion to plot ways to take down President Trump. The report suggesting that the Obamas will use the home as an anti-Trump nerve center because his office, a post-presidential perk, cannot be used for political reasons.
So they've had to get another mansion. Because, you know, so literally this mansion has been rented so that they can do post-political things.
So Eric...
and she's moved her stuff in there.
Eric Holder he has now left his job to Jeff Sessions. Hopefully Jeff Sessions will stay around. Now, he says... Obama is ready to roll. Now, if you saw our video
does that even mean?
On the Organizing for Action, the OFA, Obama is in the video saying, I'm with you guys. I'm going to be doing this thing with you guys, this thing. Now, if you watch some of the other conspiracy shows, truth shows, you'll know that they're rolling things out in the spring. They're already doing it. Town halls. There's planning another women's march who happens to be led by another convicted terrorist this time who actually spent time in prison for killing people. So Barack Obama is getting closer to making his public reappearance into politics. His friend and former Attorney General Eric Holder said on Tuesday, "It's coming. He's coming." Holder said, speaking to reporters at a briefing for the new group, he's ready to roll.
To do what? When Bush came out of office, you didn't hear a peep out of him. There was nothing.
So you will see him more as a visual part. And what he means by that is they've been doing a lot of things under...
A visible part of the effort.
Right.
What is the effort? And that's the thing.
Right. So... WND WorldNet Daily has come up with 64 ways that Obama is sabotaging Trump. Again, remind me to link to this article if I don't, because I can't obviously go through all of them. But Obama is using his new mansion, this is the big one, 2 miles away from the White House, as his headquarters for the insurgency against Trump. And it's not just that. Obama is this weird mixture of communist and Muslim. He grew up in Indonesia.
Which is the Muslim capital of the world.
He went to a Muslim school, and he was actually enrolled, as his parents put down, Muslim in 2 different schools. And he learned the Holy Quran, as in his own words, right?
So I love it when sometimes our commenters come back and they're like, Obama is not a Muslim.
Yeah. But if I went to school and was labeled as a Christian and later on...
Or Catholic. If you go to Catholic school and somebody calls you a Catholic.
Right, exactly.
You know, you're more than likely were. Or at least you learned about Catholicism.
And so then he goes back to live with his white grandparents, okay? Because remember, he's half white. His mom's white. He was raised white. His black daddy, he skedaddled, had like 20 wives.
But no, Leah, we are very proud of the fact that he was our first black president.
He was raised in a richy white family in Hawaii. Who gets to live? Who grows up in Hawaii?
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take his black card from him, but I kind of am. When an inner city kid rises up as a black kid that suffered, persecution and then becomes president, then I'm going to get behind you and be like, dude, that's so awesome. Black president, not super white privilege, whatever,
He grew up under white privilege.
Oh my gosh.
So, but here's the thing. In Hawaii, he grew up under with these views of communism. So he's got this weird mix, and you wonder, why do we have this weird mix of the Muslims and the commies coming together, up in the higher things. So, what is interesting here is
You're not going to go through any of those other ones? That was the only one you're going to give?
Well, yeah, I mean,
you don't have to. I just thought they were kind of fun.
He is, Obama's shadow White House has a taxpayer-funded office, a chief of staff, and a press secretary. He's working behind the scenes to set up a shadow government to protect his legacy and sabotage the incoming administration. The whole legacy thing ties into Valerie Jarett because her life is the Obamas. Her essence is protecting this legacy, and they see that as soon as Trump was elected, everything like a ball of yarn is coming unraveled.
Right, I like this one right here. It says, Obama will implement his plans through a network of leftist nonprofits led by Organizing for Action, or the OFA, the organization that grew out of his campaign group, Organizing for America. And it says that will give Obama a virtual army of agitators and organizers at his disposal.
He can call them anytime.
Federal tax records show the OFA has 32,525 volunteers nationwide. Another 25,000 are actively under training. That's like an army of agitators.
250 offices across the country.
Right. I mean, if he's not planning to mobilize something, this is not just some sort of grassroots effort of change or something like that. It's ridiculous. All right, now go back to the other thing. I'm sorry. I just thought some of this was really interesting.
There's a lot to this that he's doing. But Valerie Jarett is key. This is her thing. Now, to give you some backstory of Valerie Jarett, she worked in Chicago. She worked for the mayor's office. Then Michelle Robinson was going to interview, and she comes across Valerie Jarett. And at the time, Michelle Robinson, Obama, was dating Barak Obama. So then Valerie takes these two under her wing before he's ever done anything in politics, pretty much raises him up, gets him quickly to be a senator, and the next thing you know, he's president of the United States. And I read one thing where they were going back to Chicago, their hometown, and they were stuck in traffic. And Obama said, well, I probably shouldn't come back in rush hour. And she snapped back, you may not be enjoying your new life, but I am. Imagine your best friend, the person, not even your friend, because they call her, Michelle Obama calls her, she's like a mother figure, she's like a big sister, she's like a friend, but behind the scenes, people in the White House, from what I've been reading, say she's cold, say that she manipulates things, that everything that Obama does has to go through her eyes and ears and mind. She was born in Iran and lived there for the first 6 years of her life. So people are wondering and questioning the whole Iran deal.
Well, not only that, but her parents were under investigation for being, are you going to tell them out?
Yeah.
I won't steal the punchline then.
Well, here's the thing. If you've got Judicial Watch, who I love because they really uncover a lot of things, they have, the FBI has they have files that reveal her dad, her maternal grandpa, and her father-in-law, her father-in-law were hardcore commies under investigation by the U.S. government. Jared's dad was a pathologist and a geneticist. His name was Dr. James Bauman. Had extensive ties to communist associations and individuals. His lengthy FBI files shows in 1950 Bauman was in communication with a paid Soviet agent named Alfred Stern, who fled to Prague after getting charged with espionage. Bauman was also a member of a communist sympathizing group called the Association of Interns and Medical Students. After his discharge from the Army Medical Corps in 1955, Bauman moved to Iran to work the FBI records show.
All right, here's the thing, guys. Her daddy and her granddaddy were hardcore communists. Then she married somebody whose daddy was a hardcore communist.
Right.
All right, so this is
And
in her.
Obama's well known to be with Sal Lindsay.
I just want to reiterate this one more time. It is not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. You guys, you have to get your friends to take their heads out of their sand because this is these are real facts. Okay?
Right.
The conclusions that you can come to from these facts are still factual conclusions. All right? If she didn't come out and say, I hate communism, which is what, if I was raised communist, I would come out and be like, I realize it's wrong, it's evil. If you're not coming out saying that kind of stuff, then it's still in you and you still believe it.
So, according to Bauman's government file, the Association of Interns and Medical Students is an organization that has long been a faithful follower of the Communist Party line and engages in
un-American activities, which makes sense why Barack Obama was anti-Constitution and all this other stuff.
Bauman was born in Washington, D.C. with deep ties to Chicago. And every time I hear Chicago, I'm like, the gangs. And
It makes total sense why they're having so much trouble there because there's a lot underground going on there. Somebody has to be funding the gangs.
Corruption. So, Bauman often collaborated with fellow communists. Judicial Watch obtained documents on Bauman from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management showing the FBI was brought in to investigate him for his membership in a group that follows the Communist Party line. The Jarett family communist ties also include a business partnership between Jarett's maternal grandpa, Robert Rachone Taylor, and Stern, the Soviet agent associated with her dad. Jarett's father-in-law, Vernon Jarett, was also another big-time Chicago communist, according to separate FBI files obtained by Judicial Watch as a part of a probe into the Jarett family's communist ties. For a period of time, Vernon Jarett appeared on the FBI's security index and was considered a potential communist saboteur who was to be arrested in the event of a conflict with the Soviet Union, which is funny. I didn't know they had that. Okay, in case we have an issue, get this person, this person, this person. His FBI file reveals that he was assigned to write propaganda for a Communist Party front group in Chicago that would disseminate the Communist Party line among the middle class. So here she is, whispering in the ear of the President of the United States.
Former. Thank God.
Well, she was doing it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, I don't like calling the President.
And she's raised and surrounded by all these people.
She marries into communism. Her daddy's communist, her granddaddy's communist. Reiterate.
So it's well documented that Valerie Jarett, a Chicago lawyer, and a longtime confidant of Obama, we explained that, is a liberal extremist who wields tremendous power, who did and still is going to
the White House.
Faithful to her roots, she still has connections to many communist and extremist groups, including
the Muslim Brotherhood.
Jarett and her family also have strong ties to Frank Marshall Davis, a big Obama mentor and Communist Party member with an extensive FBI file. Judicial Watch has exposed Valerie Jarett's many transgressions over the years, including her role in covering up the scandalous
gun running operation carried out by the Department of Justice.
Fast and Furious. Last fall, Judicial Watch obtained public records that show Jarett was a key player in the effort to cover up that Attorney General Eric Holder lied to Congress about Fast and Furious. She was a key player. The disastrous experiment in which, I don't know if you know what happened, was the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco and Firearms and Explosives, the ATF, allowed guns from the U.S. to be smuggled into Mexico. Hopefully, they could trace them
back to drug cartels.
Unfortunately,
that didn't happen.
They're kind of just
let's
randomly
give this stuff away because
gone.
then we're going to be able to trace it. Like, did they put trackers on them?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
So, also, one last thing. She was involved with several housing projects operated by convicted felon and Obama fundraiser Antonio Rezko. She's a board member of several organizations that provided funding and support for Chicago slum projects operated by Rezko. So she and so some of the things that I've read, what she was supposed to be doing in Obama's office, she wasn't chief advisor, okay? She was supposed to be a liaison between businesses and the White House and businesses. But the business people who met with her, from what I've read, said that she is actually not capable PJ Media article on her the title's misleading. It says, "Welcome to Single Mom Nation." In 2014, acknowledged the matriarchs who really run America. Basically talking about Valerie Jarett. This line here, it says, "I don't think President Jarett really cares to the degree that Obamacare succeeds or fails. If it's helping any poor people, or if it's doing any amount of distributing of wealth at all, then it's a success in the Alinsky playbook. Anything she can do to stick it to the rich racists who don't deserve to be wealthy, the better." And just to give you an idea, the Chicago Magazine did an article on her, which was actually pretty fair, but it did say that Politico's Jeannie Cummings and Ben White have characterized the Obama White House's relationship with the corporate world as a sort of Mars and Venus quality to it. Business leaders say Obama simply doesn't get them and has no one in the White House with corporate experience or who is steeped in the daily challenges of operating in a global economy. And Jason Horowitz, then writing about Jarett for the Washington Post, even said, "Disgruntled Obama donors in the financial industry who have cast Jarett as insufficiently sophisticated on economic issues and incapable of brokering any dissent about Obama. I have always thought she was a liability," said one prominent investor and donor. "I've talked to people in the White House about it and they've agreed with me, but they are too scared to say anything."
That's really hilarious, though. Like the word "scared" there.
Right.
Are they scared of Valerie Jarett? Are they scared of her commie ties? Are they scared of the Obamas? I doubt they're scared of the Obamas. I think they're just scared because there's more to her than meets the eye.
Well, as an example, Bill Daley was brought in as this Ram Guy's successor as chief of staff to clean up the administration's messy relationships with business. Perhaps understandably, Jarett did not warm to Daley, and according to Politico's Glenn Thrush, frequently shared her unflattering assessments with Obama, and then he was fired. So, but one thing in her LinkedIn that I wanted to point out to you was that from 2006 to 2007, she was director of the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago.
Which is huge. So huge. I mean, for those of you that know, because you do know, all of our viewers know, I think, that the Federal Reserve Bank is tied to the globalist agenda.
Right.
It's not just tied to it, it is it. All of the big banks worldwide are the globalist agenda. And so the fact that she was the head of the Chicago Federal Reserve, I mean, gosh, guys, it doesn't get any more blatant than that.
Right. I mean, she served in a lot of committees and chaired a lot of committees and different things like that, but
which really just tells me she's had her hands in a lot of different pots on purpose.
Exactly.
Not that makes her experienced. It just means, I've had to jump to here and to here and to here to make my presence and what I represent known.
Right. And so one last thing, you can see the picture of them. It's just really creepy, weird to me. I don't know. That's Valerie Jarett. She's moving in. So
she's moving into the headquarters that is literally set up to topple the Trump presidency. She's moving in there. All right. So, and the reason that they even have to have this mansion is because they can't operate in the offices that Obama has been given because they know that it's for political reasons.
And they're not allowed to use it.
They're not allowed to use it for that. You guys, this is as plain as the nose on my face. Hello. All right. So this is going in the truth pile. For sure. Y'all need to know this is happening and it's going down. This Valerie lady needs to be investigated herself.
Right now it's a rumor that she's moving in, but all the other stuff is true. And
I read an article that she already has moved her stuff into this mansion.
She lived with them in the White House. So that's, I mean, it's not, I mean, she is them. They are her. They are three in one. They're the Trinity.
Ew.
I know.
Weird. Okay, this is Leah Michelle signing off for Conspiracy Theory. Listen to me. Resistance Chicks, where it's not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth.
We can get together.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Victory and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications so you can get an email every time we put out new videos. And find us on Facebook. You can't get this kind of
Love
stuff.
Shack. Call me Love Shack. But they're not going to make it work. It's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah, no.
We're bringing you the truth. And everyone else is talking about the truth.
Waking up. Exactly.
And that's how we do these lives.
Lives.
We can get together.
I was called you call my name.